We're going to talk today about, as a follow-up to the video that we had done previously, put together through the American College of Financial Services, the financial literacy test they gave to several hundred folks earlier in 2017. And we talked a little bit about the scores of that before. Not really great. So today what I wanted to do was focus on one of the sections, and we will take these on a section-by-section basis through some subsequent videos. So today's group of questions focus on the company retirement plans and IRAs. So I'm going to read the questions to you. I'm going to read the options for answers. You can have a second to think about it, and then I'll tell you what the real answer was. And I'm also going to tell you what percentage that people scored, how they actually answered the questions. So some of them you'll be surprised by, I think. Some of them are probably pretty obvious. So the first one is distributions from an IRA, an individual retirement account, generally must be made every year once an individual has attained age 55, 59 and a half, 65, 70 and a half, or, and this is interesting, there's an option of don't know. So it's 4 choices and a default, you don't have any idea. So what's the correct answer? Well, the correct answer is 70 and a half. And it's interesting because 84% of the people got that answer right. But 5% didn't know. But I still haven't figured out why you have a don't know if you have choices. If you either get it right or you get it wrong. So don't know to me is a silly default, but that's the way they asked them. Second question, which of the following statements concerning the federal income tax treatment of distributions to a 65-year-old retiree is true? Distributions from a Roth IRA are generally tax-free. Distributions from a traditional IRA are generally taxed as long-term capital gains. Distributions from a traditional IRA for the 65-year-old are generally subject to an additional 10% penalty tax. And again, you have don't know. So don't answer don't know. I'll give you a clue right away. So the correct answer is the first one. Distributions from a Roth are generally tax-free. And in this instance, 64% of the people got it right. 19% answered don't know. So again, here's a true-false one. And there is a don't know option, which is, again, if I'm not making my point, seems silly. But true or false? A retiree who is working part-time can generally continue to contribute to a Roth IRA. True or false? The answer is true. And 69% got that right. 26% didn't know. Fourth question here. Converting a portion of a traditional IRA to a Roth IRA is a good idea this year, or any year for that matter, but this year if the first choice is you have a big tax deduction this year and your marginal tax rate is lower than normal. Second choice is you have more taxable income than usual and your marginal tax rate is higher than normal. Third choice is the value of the assets in your IRA has remained the same for the last 10 years. So the correct answer is the first one. You have a big tax deduction this year and your marginal rate is going to be lower than normal. 34% of the people got it right. 48% of the people didn't know. So last question for this section. If a large public company sponsoring a 401k plan files for bankruptcy, employees are, first choice, at no risk of losing their 401k benefits because the plan is outside the claims of a creditor, any creditor. At risk of losing their 401k benefits because the assets in their 401k plan pay the creditors first. Only at risk of their 401k benefits going away if the plan document says the creditors have the right to those trust assets. And the fourth choice is only at risk of losing their 401k benefits if a judge decides the creditors should be paid first. So no risk or some sense of risk with the other 3 choices. Now the correct answer is the first one. There is no risk. These are protected. They are held outside of they are outside of company assets. 27% of the people got it right. 44% of the people didn't know the difference. So this was one of several sections. As I said earlier, we're going to cover more of them in future videos. The other thing that I will give you the option of doing if you'd like to see all of these 38 questions all at once, and you want to take the quiz, just take a look down at the bottom of the screen here because that's where the URL for the website is. You can go on and take the whole test and see how you did. Because we're going to try and tell you as we go through these just exactly how people scored on all of it. I reported about that the overall outlook of the results in a previous video. So we're going to take this on a section by section going forward. So hope it was fun, hope it was educational. That's the whole intent of this. Thanks. Well, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, you could hit the subscribe button because we're going to be putting new content out here all the time. Thank you.